We've had Dr. Levin on before, and he's been a good leader for public health here. And what we've talked about is the built environment that, as a kid growing up down in around Lake Sherwood there, when we had longhorn cattle out in the backyard, you could go somewhere. Yes. You could go 4 or 5 miles. You could get on a bicycle. You could find a forest, or and it gets very, very difficult here in Ventura County to find that kind of wilderness now. What would you suggest as a guide for people? Is there a resource for them? So if they wanted to know where the parks were, is that part of the service that you offer, or where would you direct them?
Well, I would, first of all, if you're interested in knowing where the trails are in your community, you can contact your local Parks and Rec department. They would be the first ones that I would contact. Everybody in most of the communities here in Ventura County, we have parks. We have areas where people could walk. If you don't have a park near you, there's always the mall. You run the risk, of course, of running up your credit cards, but there's always the mall that you can walk, especially on a rainy day or on a really hot day. You can walk through the mall. Local parks, most of our cities are interested in making cities more livable, and here in Ventura, for example, we do have areas where you could walk, trails where you could walk, those same areas where you can bike. We have lots of bike paths in Ventura County as well that people could use. I do have to say, though, that there are certain neighborhoods where it isn't safe and it isn't walkable, and it's unsafe for many reasons. And one of the things that I recommend that we talk to when we're encouraging people to be physically active and they come back to us with, it's not safe to walk in my neighborhood, what can I do? Well, we've seen this firsthand. We've seen families who tell us that they'd rather keep their children indoors at the end of school because it's not safe for them to go out. Or, sometimes I feel like chasing my kids out of the house. Go out, get in some trouble or something. But you can't do that nowadays, like you said. So what we do, the program staff works with the community to empower them. They have the right to a safe and a walkable environment. So what they need to do is they need to get together with their local school. They can get together with their local city council and work with them on improving the walkability, the livability of their surroundings. And it's possible. It's possible. That's how most things have gotten done, when the community has been empowered and has been given information, has been given resources, and has been given the support to actually work with their local city council, city managers, together with the schools. Obviously, the schools are a great resource to pair up with, to partner with. So we also work with empowering our communities to help make their cities more livable.
I know we took a look at asthma, and we took a look at violent crime in a certain part of Oxnard, and found that you could just lay one on top of the other, that we were seeing exposure to dust mite or cockroach or carpets, that children, and mold. The children just weren't going outside, and working with public housing, we were able to eliminate the mold. Working with the Oxnard Police Department, we ended up with a gang injunction. So really, it's a big effort. I've heard, gosh, there's a mean dog around there. There's no bike lane where I am. So is that the kind of thing that you help a neighborhood?
Precisely. In fact, we had a walk about 2 or 3 weeks ago in Oxnard, where we work with local police. The police actually walked with us. We got the community out there, and we walked a good, I'm not sure, maybe a mile or so through parts of Oxnard, and the police were showing us, this is where you want to walk, this is what time of day you can walk, this is what you need to do to take care of yourself, this is what you do if you encounter a situation. So having the police partner with us was definitely a good thing, because the community could then see, okay, the law enforcement is behind us, they're going to help us. And we actually at that certain walk, we got the neighborhood watch out there as well, to help the community understand what they could do to make their neighborhoods safer. And it was an excellent opportunity to see what could be done when you join forces with other groups. And so definitely working with communities.
I think the other thing is just at work. I mean, we have worked so hard to make a smoke-free environment. I've worked with public health for a couple decades here, while we watch those tobacco tax monies decrease for some of my programs. I can't help but feel great that
You're right.
maybe there's a little less of that money to spend. But what kinds of things can people do during their when they would have been having a cigarette break or lunch hour? Can they walk around work? How can you partner up? How can you get a company going? Are there any companies locally that have adopted this kind of thing?
We actually, one of our activities that we're working with is also with worksite wellness. Obviously, worksite wellness is key because most of us, if you're anything like me and some of my coworkers, we sit at our computer for long parts of the day, and getting up to even do 10 minutes of physical activity is asking too much. One of the things that we've done in the public health department is we have eliminated individual trash cans. So now we have a centrally located trash can, and everybody must get up from their desk at least every time they open a candy bar or whatever, or a Nutri-Grain bar, or any trash. They have to get up and they have to go to the centrally located trash can. And there was a lot of grumbling at first, but I think people are getting used to the idea that they now get up and move around, at least for that minute that it takes. Other things that we can do while we are at work is get up from our office and walk around your building a couple of times, 10 minutes. We are actually located close by, so oftentimes we'll just walk right up to the main street and back to the main street. That's a good 10 minutes one way and 20 minutes of walking. You can actually park your car far away from your office. We don't have to park in our parking lot. We can actually park down the street and make ourselves walk to the office. So parking your car further away, walking up and down the stairs. We actually have 4 floors in our building, so walking up and down the stairs is another great exercise. It's quick. It's a little hard on the knees as you get older. But if you go slow, it's still a very good workout.
Well, and so how often should we really be physically active? We're talking an hour and 10 minutes a day, or 3 times a week? We always hear different recommendations.
Well, if you are interested in just getting physical activity, the recommended is 30 minutes a day just to get started. And that's just the recommendation. If you are interested in losing weight and doing more for your joints, doing more for your health, increasing your health, then it is recommended an average of 60 to 90 minutes a day of a physical activity, moderate to rigorous physical activity. And by that we mean activity that actually you break out into a sweat and your heart starts beating faster, and you maintain that level for a certain amount of time. So that's a type of moderate to rigorous activity that we recommend on a daily basis for losing weight and for maintaining a good healthy weight. That's hard to incorporate, I know. But again, as we mentioned earlier, breaking up your physical activity into bite-sized chunks is a lot easier to do. And for those people who have ever started exercising, they will find that physical activity actually, contrary to popular belief, gives you more energy. It reduces your stress, it helps you to relax, it makes you look better, it helps you maintain a healthy weight. There's just so many reasons to exercise that, people who sit back in their chair and think, well, I can't possibly, dedicate 10, 15 minutes to that. Well, in the time they've watched your show, 10, 15 minutes, right?